Hey everyone, hope you're well. It's a bit of a drama kind of saying, oh, anxiety sucks and then disappearing for a week. Yeah, sorry about that. It has been an interesting one though. As I say, I was I'm feeling very unwell last week, like just generally a mess. And I'm happy to say I feel a bit better, not 100%, but better. And I think that it's just been one of those weeks really of just last week everything kept going wrong and getting stressful and being a nightmare, and then just stuff helped unpack it a bit, and that's been useful. I'll start at the beginning. I mean, I was generally just feeling unwell, like I felt a bit het up and anxious anyway, and then I'd been talking to someone about life plans and stuff like that. I can't remember where the conversation come from, but I'm at work. I've been kind of talking about my role and talking about what I want to do and how I want to do it, and I'm slightly conscious. I don't want anyone from work to see this and misunderstand me, because where I am on everything is just kind of I've been having a chat with my boss about what I should be doing day to day, and from his point of view, he's thinking, well, what do you like? What do you want to do? Let's build a role. And I'm like, well, I have no idea. So then I'm looking at it as a broader, well, where do I want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and where do I want my life to be? And then I'll be out and about with Claire, let's say. And I remember we were for a walk by the river in our town, and there was a house being built by the river. And she was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to live there? And I remember thinking to myself, I don't even know how I would do that if my life carried on as it was right now. Like there's no chance. But if I could change one thing today, what could it be? Little things like that. So I remember going through a list. I was talking to someone about a website. I went through a list of job ideas just to see what things I could kind of put to work, so I could do that at work, or just to think, right, well, if I work hard now, in future I can move into this, whatever. And I went through something like 1,000 jobs on this site over sort of Friday night and Saturday. And by the end of the weekend, I was just so stressed out about it, because I thought, I'm stuck. I do not know what I want to do. And a lot of my things that I do at work are suddenly not as useful as they used to because of the way it's changed. So I need to find something else to do. And then I was just getting nervous and spiraling a bit, like they're not going to want me there, or I'm not going to have a plan, or whatever it is, and blah, blah, blah. And it's all going to go wrong. But then Monday, I did have a genuinely big task to do. I had a massive task to do. Basically, to really summarize it, I had to either write or copy and paste, depending on what it was. Something like 160, 175 questions for each product I was adding to this website, and I have about 50 of them to do. So I don't know what the maths is there, but 10 times 100 is 1,000. I'm saying 175. So let's round that up to 2,000 per 10. I was doing a lot of answers. It was a lot of copying and pasting. It was mind numbing. It was brain melting, and it was just stressing me out. So, I mean, I might not have done very good maths there, but yeah, it was stressing me out. So that was a big focus and a big pressure, because I was also having meetings in the week and stuff like that. And I just felt a bit low because of it. So that's part of the reason why I think Tuesday I was like, look, I haven't got the bandwidth to do a vlog, because I'd spent all day copying and pasting and writing and so on and so forth, and stressing about stuff that wasn't happening, and the system went wrong and all of this stuff. So work was already getting to me. And then the kids were just having a little bit of a bad week, bless them. So Ollie's now on half days because he just doesn't have the energy himself to get through it. He went from, I mean, the head rang me to tell me what an amazing term he'd had, and then he went in on the Monday, and throughout the week he just went downhill, and he was getting more aggressive, more upset, more angry, more frustrated. And the head wasn't annoyed about it. He was just like, I think he's just really tired. They were all just like, bless him, I think he's just fallen off the wagon a bit. So we'd noticed it at home. Monday last week, he was getting ready for school, and it was just awful. We got to the point where I said to Claire he shouldn't go in, and she was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, I just don't think we should send him in." And he was screaming and upset, and it was a complete just. I'm trying to talk quiet because they're about to go out at the moment. But it was just a nightmare. It was so stressful, and at the point where we'd agreed he wasn't going in, Claire was like leaving with Ben, and Ollie was like screaming at the window with his hands up, trying to get out the door to chase them down so he could go to school. And I was saying to him, "No, look, you really shouldn't. It's really not the right. Your frame of mind is not. You're being so aggressive. You're being so upset. You're being so downbeat. just have a day to chill, like it's a mental health day. And I must admit, within 3 hours or so, he had calmed down and it was going really well. And by the afternoon, he seemed himself. He seemed really good. I remember putting him to bed that night and thinking, this was a good idea. This was a good plan. This really helped. And then he went in on Tuesday, had a really, really bad day. And the school was just like, we think he probably needs to go to half days. And I was like, yes, it feels that way. I explained to them that the reason we kept him off on Monday was because it was such a really challenging morning. The weekend had been nice. I was quite surprised, really. The weekend had been fine. I feel like he'd been a bit low, but I think we were all a bit low. I feel like our logic, we're wondering whether he'd gone downhill from the high of having his friend visit the other week, whether he'd gone really low off the back of that, and then he'd struggled to get back up in the week. But by Monday, he'd just hit the rock bottom. And so we've agreed the half days, which I know a couple of people have already been outraged about in the chatting to some of you. And I just feel like it has been necessary. I feel like he needed the break. I'm not sure it needs to be as long as it is. Currently, we've agreed that there's the June half term, and then he'll be back in, and he'll be kind of weaned back up. And I'm thinking that might be a bit long. I'm thinking this week, get it out of the way, and then have a chat on Monday about whether we feel like it really needs to continue. Part of me thinks it will, because he's so much. They also mentioned he hadn't done any work really in that whole week, and he'd been really just not getting involved in anything, whereas every day now he's doing sort of 2-3 pieces of work, and it seems to be going really well. So it's a messy one, because I don't like doing half days, and I don't feel like it's correct, but at the same time he was just not in the right state, and we need to help fix whatever it is that's making him feel that. He felt terrible, honestly, and the things he was saying, it was just so sad and aggressive. And I didn't take any of it personally or anything like that, but I was already feeling pretty low, so that kind of broke me a bit. That same day, I had a bit of a nightmare, because I got a phone call, and I thought, oh, what's happened? And it was actually Ben, bless him, had an upset tummy, and this happened a few weeks back. It happened again, basically, and I had to go pick him up and bring him home. Their plan was for me to come in, clean him up, take him home, and then bring him back. But when I got there, I was just like, he doesn't seem very well at all, so he had to come home. And then I got a phone call immediately after that going, Ollie's not having a good day, and they were like, don't come and get him, but see whether let's have a chat tomorrow. And then when we had the chat, they were just like, yeah, half days. So Ben and Ollie were just not well. Ollie might have had a similar bug, to be fair, but I went to ask Claire, because I had this big pile of work to do, and I went to ask Claire whether she could get him, whether she had the bandwidth for it, what we should do. I was panicking a bit because I got the phone call. I was like, and as I went to talk to her, I kind of slipped on the stairs, and I had this moment of just, I was like, hit the stairs in annoyance, and Claire messaged me like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, I fell, and then I was so upset. I was just a bit of a mess. So that wrote me off, and I felt like I just didn't really recover from that in the end for a couple of days. But to kind of reverse the conversation a bit, the weirdest thing happened. I feel like sometimes, I don't know how this happens. It happens to me more often, and I think it annoys, like my sister, for example. She looks at this and goes, why? Why does this always happen to you? But it does, and it's quite lucky, and I feel quite fluky. It's weird. It was serendipitous. But basically, I was doing this job I mentioned, copying and pasting and writing stuff out, and one of the things talks about how you look after the environment, how you're tackling the COVID crisis, how you're looking after the well-being of your employees and other stuff like that. And I must have copied and pasted this phrase about how we look after the well-being of our employees at work like 20 times throughout the week. And then I happened to be copying and pasting it, and I noticed it say that they have this app that all employees have access to that helps them with their well-being. And I was just like, we have a what now? And so I started looking through my email thinking, well, why wasn't I told about this? Like, I could really do with this at the moment. And I went on my email and found out that when we were acquired and all this, that was one of the first things they told us, you have access to this app. And in this app, it gives you therapy, life coaching, career advice, job advice, if I needed it, financial advice, all sorts of stuff like that, medical advice. Apparently I can get a GP 24/7, just ring them up and go, I've got the Black Plague, what shall I do? But I basically rang them and was like, really anxious, feeling really unwell at the moment, having a really tough week. What can we do? And they were like, they rang me and had a chat with me and talked me through it a bit, and then said every Thursday for the next 7 weeks, someone's going to ring me and we're going to just talk through it. And I was like, nice. Then I had a call from someone who rang me and was just like talking about work stuff. And they were like, what do you like doing at work? And I said, well, I've kind of taken on all the writing work. And they were like, well, why don't you just do more writing work? And in your spare time, get more writing gigs to do in your spare time that you're happy with and just build up more writing. And so they were talking me through that. So for the next 5 weeks, I've got someone ringing me about that to talk me through building this plan of becoming more of a regular writer at work and at personal, and to just build more of a thing that I want to do and more skills. And they sent me loads of resources to read. I've got a life coach person ringing me later today just to talk me through general stuff. I think I don't really know what to expect there. Their thing is to just try and help me keep on focus, and I think just kind of crack on with it a little bit. But they were I think I've got 7 weeks of them, which we'll see how it goes. I feel like I'll just keep you posted on it. But I also had the autism team, the CBT thing that I signed up for. I got a call with them tomorrow, which, thinking about it, I don't know what time that is. But that was one of the things that set me off, because that was the thing that set me off to the look at careers thing. It talked about anxiety and it mentioned a website, and I went and looked at it, and I made a comment on the site that you making me focus on the things that are making me anxious has just sent me on the biggest spiral of anxiety imaginable. I kind of wish I hadn't done this now, and that's what I'm going to say to them tomorrow. I really wish I hadn't clicked this, but in a weird way, it has sorted me out. So, yeah, I don't know how the hell that happened. I don't know how the hell, of all things, and I feel a little bit like it's frustrating because I can't say, hey, I know how to fix feeling extremely anxious, because the answer for me was, oh, this app came along. I guess what I will say is that speaking to the therapy person off the bat was extremely helpful for putting a stop on my spiral straight away. It was like, no, come on, let's just get people sorted. I understand it. Let's get it dealt with. We're going to set out a plan. If you ever feel, basically they said, if you ever feel like you're just really, really losing, like it's just getting the worst it's getting, just call the number and chat to someone. But otherwise, just let's have a chat every week. The job person was just like, don't worry about it. This is quite common. We'll figure something out. There's loads of plans. I mean, she was kind of a bit like, because I basically told her my life story in that call, and she was just like, you can do a lot of stuff. She was like, I'm not really sure how you're struggling. And I was just like, yeah, but I don't want to do anything. Like, not I don't want to do anything. What I want to do doesn't really have I don't know. It's a bit all over the place. But then she owned that. I feel like I was thinking it's a bit all over the place because it's almost like a buffet. I want to basically do a buffet job of picking and choosing what I want to do, where I want to do it, and covering everything that way. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, okay. Didn't think it was fine. I do have, I mean, I might be calling that money person because I am the only constraint on that. I spoke to Claire, and Claire was like, you do know we have a heck of a lot of debt. She was just like, yeah. And she's right. So I said to her, well, that's fine. If I focus on getting rid of that debt over the next 2 years, at least I know I've got probably going to take longer than that, but at least I know I've got a focused thing. I said, I think the problem for me was having no focus at all and not knowing what I was doing or how I was doing it, and just bumbling along in this situation where I constantly felt like every conversation I was having at work felt like it was taking a little bit of responsibility away, and then I wasn't really building anything back up. I just felt a bit odd about it, and I was kind of like, well, if they don't want me and I have to move, or if I decided to move, what would I do? And yeah, it caused a problem. Whereas now, if I'm saying, well, look, I can try and focus on working really hard and really well until I paid everything off, build a load of money up, and then I'm free to kind of go, do you know what? Maybe I'll do a bit more of this, or maybe I'll ask them about doing less work or whatever. That feels like a plan. But yeah, I might talk to the money people and just say, how do I get rid of this in a year so that I'm just completely free to say what do I want to do, how do I want to do it. But it was interesting. It feels like it's given me a bit of focus. I've got really itchy nose. I don't really get an itchy nose on stream, on the vlog, but on stream, those of you who watch me on Twitch, I get an itchy nose at 8:30 every stream. And it's just bizarre. 8:30, I'll be playing, and I'll be like, oh god, it must be 8:30. Oh, it is, and my nose is just itchy. There should just be something in the room that does something. There's probably one of the plants just spitting out a bit of pollen or something. I don't know. A spider that just gets really close and starts giving me a tickle. I don't know. But it's a bit of a tangent. So Yeah, I don't. I'm surprised that this has happened. I mean, I'm surprised the whole thing's happened. I don't know where it came from, other than the stress. Poor old Claire was a bit like, "What on earth? Like, why are you so het up? Surely this isn't all work related." And I was like, "Well, it basically is. It's just not. It's not work's fault. I'm not saying it's my job. I'm saying it's me just worrying about things and being silly or whatever." Um, but it just took a heavy toll. And then the boys, bless them, just added an extra bit in. And poor old Molly's just getting worse and worse and worse as well, bless her. And she's not. It's one of those. I don't like talking about this on the vlog because it doesn't sound lovely. But she's not in any pain, but she just looks rougher and rougher and rougher. And it's like the kind thing to do may be to take her to the vets at some point soon. But I just feel mean about it because other than the smell, which is awful, it's sort of ebbs and flows. It was getting a bit better, but some days it's not, and all of that. Other than that, and her looking a bit raggedy, she's fine. I just have to lift her out the door, tell her to go toilet about 1 billion times, which when I was feeling stressed, that was the worst. Standing in the garden going, "Go for a wee." And what she does is she walks to the grass, forgets she needs a wee, and then comes back. And if we don't convince her she needs to have a wee and then get her to remember, she will go in and then just go toilet randomly, either in the night or there and then, or she'll go and get a drink of water, and just poo herself. And so I have to keep going to her. Nope, go to the toilet, go to the toilet, go to the toilet, and eventually she'll step on the grass and suddenly think I'm on the grass, and she'll go and do a little circle and go, like dogs do. But I have to keep doing that routine, and she constantly starts getting in this, "I'm going to try and run past you, I've got to try and get back in, I'm scared or I'm upset," because she doesn't remember why we're doing it. So that's been quite soul destroying because she's just, not herself anymore. And it's not very nice to just every night. And I'm out there till like 12:30. Like, I mean, I say until, I mean, I go out there at like 12:10, let's say, and I'm out there for 10 minutes, let's say, and I'm trying to get her to go. Sometimes she goes straight away and I'm like, yes. But I also feel like my neighbors must think I'm insane. So I start going to her, "Go on, don't forget," and really like telegraphing what's happening, but not loudly because it is gone midnight. But I'm just like, I'll talk to the dog as though anyone who is hearing me do this may pick up that I'm not just mad. I am trying to get our dog, who's forgetful, to go for a wee. I'm sure they don't care, but I start getting worried again because it's anxiety stuff. It's all little spirals that form one big spiral, and it's just silly. So I'm really hoping that all these. I mean, I got 4 professional people talking to me now. I feel like that should be enough to say, "Sheepdog, sort yourself out. This is how, and hopefully it will happen." I don't want this to be you know how they go, like, "Oh, everything's terrible. Oh, everything's looking all right. Everything's terrible again. Everything." I don't want it to be like that. I don't want to get in a yo-yo. I want to get to a point. I'm going to talk to the coach about all sorts of things. I plan on talking because they were saying it doesn't have to just be about work. So I was thinking, well, I'll just talk to them about growing stuff, being better at things, whatever it is, just something. Which, I mean, that is something I've been doing a lot in some of the groups I'm in. I've been having some amazing conversations about writing this past few days. I've been writing more. I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that if I can work with people to just work through we've agreed we might get together and chat about our individual works in progress to work over some humps we're on, and that's going to be cool because I think that will help me. The game that I made the other week is due out soon. Someone's just got to get confirmation with their work that they're not breaking any rules by releasing a game because they make games. And then it'll just be Comic-Con. We're basically on a better time for Comic-Con. We're on Sunday at 12 till 12:50, which is a longer slot at a better time than the last time we did it. Last time we were first on. Now we're like midday. Soon we'll be like Metallica headlining, coming out, and everyone will be chanting "Sheepdog, Sheepdog," and lighting candles and lighters, and waving them while we talk. But until then, we're the midday lunchtime lot. Hopefully it'll be as good as the last one. If you're going to Comic-Con, let me know. We're going to obviously be taking questions from people. We might rehash a few from before that were particularly good talking points. Obviously, people in the audience can ask questions, but if you're not going, you want to ask stuff, let us know, because I think it is going to be recorded, and we are going to make more of an effort to get the video this time, or at least I am. I'm going to ask them. Now I'm on the panel as an official person, I feel like I'm okay to say to them, "Oh, where is a copy of it?" Last time I didn't have any access to anything, but yeah, I'm very, very excited, and just positive about things now compared to last week. By Wednesday, I was at my just bottom, and now I feel like things are actually looking pretty sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up because I've hit the 20-minute mark. I thought it'd be a short one. I'm so delusional about this. I always think this will be a short one, and then it's not. But no, things are looking cool. I've got 10 days till Comic Con. I'm looking forward to going to London. Claire and the kids are going away with her mum to stay in a caravan for the same weekend. Then I've got a week off after that. So I'm kind of thinking in my mind that week off is a perfect time because it is 2 weeks away. So I should be right in the middle of the coaching, the career stuff, the therapy, and all of that. It should be right at its kind of midpoint where we've talked through everything and we're trying to do something practical. And I'm thinking during that week off, I'm hoping I can then have the energy, and like usually Comic Con's such a buzz that I'll be so like that I'll need to charge it somewhere on the Monday. When I don't have that thing to divert it at, it kind of all fizzles out and I slump. But if I have something to just go, then it's going to be good. So that's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. I might just fall apart and spend 3 days recovering, but that's fine too. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up there. Thanks very much for watching. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how your week's been for the past however long it's been since I last vlogged. How you all feeling? If you want to know any questions about any of the stuff that I'm doing, or have any kind of things you'd recommend I say or check out or request or whatever it is, it's all confidential as well, so I don't have to. They said to me, "Don't worry, you can literally say what you like. Your bosses won't know." Not that I'm going to say anything bad, but I don't want anyone worrying. Is what I thought was. I know what mum and dad will be like. They'll be like, "Oh my god, you're basically about to tell your employer you're unhappy about something in life." And it's like, no, that's not the case at all. I just want to talk to someone to get through some nonsense, basically. My aim is to come out the other side of this raring to go, happy to do whatever work need me to do, and to make loads of money, because when I make loads of money, they make loads of money, and everybody wins. But I just need to figure it out. So let's see what happens. I wanna be clearing this debt and becoming free. I want to be free dog. But yeah, I need to stop talking. So thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers.